Let's talk about FODMAPs in relationship to IBD and IBS. Now, what do these acronyms stand for? Let's start with FODMAPs, okay? So that stands for Fermentable, which basically describes the gut bacteria digesting carbohydrates and producing gas, okay? That's fermentable. Then we get oligosaccharides. Oligo means few, and saccharides describe sugars. Then we get disaccharides. That means two sugars connected. Then we have monosaccharides, which is one sugar. And then we have polyols. And these are basically scientifically sounding names for carbohydrates, specifically sugar and fiber. And all of these are a bit more difficult to digest. All right, now let's switch over to IBS. That's irritable bowel syndrome. And then we have IBD, which is inflammatory bowel disease. Now, the difference between IBS and IBD is this. In IBS, there's no ulcers, there's no lesions. It only affects the colon, not the small intestine. So basically, you have inflammation in your large intestine. All right, IBD is irritable bowel disease. It's a group of bowel diseases that cause inflammation in different parts of the GI system, okay? Both IBS and IBD are triggered by the same thing. Gluten, which is the protein in wheat and other grains, refined sugars, grains, lactose, that's milk sugar, certain fibers in a lot of things like vegetables, legumes, and omega-6 fatty acids. That would be things like soy, corn, canola, especially the oils. And then if you have these conditions, you'll have abdominal pain, diarrhea, bloating, and gas. So what happens in the gut when you actually consume these foods is you get gas. And the gas stretches and expands the colon. And IBD or IBS are very sensitive to this stretching because you have inflammation. Now let me just circle back to the FODMAPs for a second. Oligosaccharides, that would be like the grains, that would be garlic, onions, legumes. An example of disaccharides would be the dairy, okay? So as you know, a lot of people are real sensitive to dairy, right? And then monosaccharides would be like fructose, and that could be like in high fructose corn syrup or fruit. And then polyols would be like the artificial sweeteners like sorbitol, mannitol. But these two compounds, sorbitol and mannitol, are also in, to a certain degree, in fruit and even vegetables. So the whole concept of FODMAPs is to consume foods low in FODMAPs, okay? Now, I listed all of those in the description below so you can see what I'm going to talk about, because you'd also want to avoid the high FODMAP foods, okay? Now, here's one little extra point I want to bring up. Many people consume the low FODMAP vegetables and other foods, and they still have a lot of GI problems. In that case, I would recommend not consuming any vegetables or legumes or fruits, and do carnivore for a couple months, and you'll find that your gut can heal and you'll feel much, much better. I just wanted to point that out. But just make sure you do the healthy version of a carnivore diet. So you're not just eating animal protein, you're eating fish, seafood, eggs, things like that.
Hey guys, Dr. Berg here. In this video, I want to shed some light on this myth called the eat less and lose weight myth, all right? First of all, it's been totally proven that this does not work, okay? What happens when you reduce your calories, your body will automatically compensate by slowing the metabolism down, okay? It may work the first time you do it, but the more you do it over and over and over and over, it works less and less and less to the point where it won't work at all. Okay, so you'll shut down your what's called a set point. So let's say you're about 185 and you're just plateaued. You will not be able to get lower than that. If you try to go lower than that, your body's going to crave like crazy and be really hungry, and then it will slow down the metabolism even more. Okay, so dieting in general slows your metabolism. Secondly, we want to talk about weight loss versus fat loss. Sometimes you read these books that say you can lose 15 pounds of actual fat in 2 weeks. That is a lie. You can't lose, it's impossible to lose more than 2 pounds of fat per week. If anyone says you can lose more than that, they're lying to you, okay? You can't. It's 2 pounds. But if you're interested in water weight, you can lose 10 pounds in a week of water weight. but not more than 2, okay, of actual fat. It's real easy to lose water weight. Okay, just cut out the carbs and eat high potassium foods. Okay, that's vegetables. Boom, you lose water weight. But if you're interested in fat loss, that's a whole different thing. Okay, so the maximum of 2 pounds of fat per week that's with a healthy metabolism. If you have an unhealthy metabolism and you're losing 1 pound of fat per week, that's not bad. Okay, it's not bad. So if you understand that, at least maybe you won't be as frustrated going into this, because sometimes your expectation is a little bit more than what's real. Okay, I don't want to set you up for a loss. If you can lose 1 pound of actual fat per week, I think you should be happy with that if it's consistent and you can stay at that over a period of time. Now, there is no such thing as, oh yeah, there are things that you read on the internet, like one person was saying, there's no such thing as bad food. It's just calories, too many calories. No, there is such thing as bad food. Probably the people that are telling you that are the people that are making sodas and donuts, and they're saying there's no such thing as bad junk food, just eat it in moderation. That is another myth. There are bad foods. Now, if we want to lose fat, we want to study the fat cell itself and understand this little fat cell. If you cut calories, you do not have a dramatic effect on the fat cell. If you cut sugar, you'll cut insulin, that you will have an effect on the fat cell. So the fat cell is regulated by insulin. If you lower insulin by cutting sugar out, you will lose weight. Okay, so we want to starve your body not of calories, but of the sugar to drop the insulin, which forces your body to burn fat. And there's a lot of other data on fat metabolism in some of my other videos, but the point is that if you eat less, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lose weight any long-term type thing, okay? So just to summarize, you need to lower insulin by lowering sugar to be able to really tap into the fat. And there's a lot more information on the fat cell and what to do and how to lose more fat in some of the other videos. I hope this helped, and I will see you in the next video. Hey guys, I have a question. Do you actually eat healthy and feel sick? If that's your situation, I want to explain what's behind that. 99% of the time, it's related to your digestion. Okay, there's some type of low-grade inflammatory response going on in the digestive tract, usually from food allergies. Okay, now what's happening is food allergies are creating this constant inflammation with the intestinal wall, and that creates histamines. And histamines make you feel funky, tired, flu-like symptoms, joints achy. Okay, so the real problem is this. It's like, what's behind an allergy? What causes allergies? Well, there's some information that you need to know about allergies. Okay, number one, the anti-allergic substances or medications that they give you are usually related to prednisone or cortisone, things like that. And what is that? That's adrenal hormones. Okay, so really, allergies are some failure in the adrenal system. Now, the other thing that we know about allergies is that allergies mainly exist in more of an alkaline body, not an acidic body, but an overly alkaline body. And it's just coincidence that an adrenal body type, they're more alkaline as well. So alkalosis is a real big problem. So there's a couple things you need to do, all right? If you think about the cause of allergies, you could just, like the stomach is normally between 1 and 3, very, very acidic. And the goal of the stomach is to break down the proteins into very small particles so you can digest them. If you have undigested protein from your stomach going to your intestine, you can develop allergies just from that. Okay, so we need to acidify the stomach. So the stomach is very acid, and the large bowel has friendly bacteria, lactobacillus, that makes lactic acid. Okay, so you have bacteria that make acid. So if you lose those bacteria, you don't have that acidifying effect in your colon. So a couple things you need to do is, number one, over time, acidify your digestive tract. The problem you're going to run into is if you're too alkaline, you probably have a lot of inflammation in there right now. So you have tissue that's probably swollen, inflamed, irritated. So dumping a lot of acid might make you worse. So you're going to have to slowly do it over time and maybe put a lot of chlorophyll in your body. Wheatgrass juice powder would work, or leafy greens, or some type of healing agent, chlorophyll tablets. You can do that, and that will start to heal your body, and then slowly start dumping more acid in it. You can use apple cider vinegar, betaine hydrochloride. That would really help. Okay, so we want to acidify the body slowly over time, and then add more and more. Number 2, probiotics. So you want to get a probiotic that's a high-quality probiotic. I like the liquid ones, and you can start taking this over a period of time. Start off very, very small and gradually increase, because chances are you don't have the full complement of microbes to help you. And if you dump too much in there, you're going to create like a storm of a reaction. So you want to start out very small and gradually put that in there. So over time, you have all the flora that's making your acid for you, and the allergies start going away. Okay? The third thing is to avoid the things that trigger the allergies. So I like to keep a notebook, and then make a note of every time you eat, what do you react to? Is it, a certain food that you're sensitive to or have an allergy to? Then start avoiding those foods right now. And then avoid it for a period of about 4 weeks, and then you can reintroduce it. But you want to start to avoid the things that are bloating you or making you feel sick. And there's always going to be things that either you feel a direct, immediate reaction. Sometimes it's a little delayed, but from my experience, it's pretty immediate. But you have to keep a log. And the problem is, if you have too many foods at one time, you're not going to identify what allergy that is. But I do have some videos on just allergies directly, but these are the 3 things that I would start doing right now. And that's why eating healthy doesn't make you necessarily always make you healthy if you have a system that can't break down those foods. But the key is that you have to acidify the body and normalize that pH. All right? Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.